Hello, everybody, and welcome to Shauna and Taz Live. Hey, Taz, how you
Ta-da!
going? Da da da! And I have a new set in special honor of Taz because I thought this looked more like sort of two girlfriends chatting, and it's
Yeah.
got an easier vibe. We can sit back, have a glass of wine, although I haven't got a glass of wine, so
Oh, it's a bit early for me here, but
yeah.
you knock yourself out. You can go for it.
I don't have any. I'm actually being really good at the moment. I'm on a real health kick, so I just don't have any in the house.
I was
Oh, that
working.
looks nice.
I was
Terry's
working late.
orange.
Yeah, I was working late last night, and I treated myself. I didn't drink the whole bottle, but I was going to show this in a video. But Bailey's have done a collaboration with Terry's chocolate orange.
It
Oh
sounds
my
heaven.
lord! Watch
Yeah,
yourself.
really. It's really good. Oh, I'm going to look out for that. I'm going to look out. That'll be my Christmas treat.
I'm not meant to
So,
be drinking till Christmas, but
hello, everybody that's joined us. We've got some regulars, Taz. I can see some really familiar faces that always turn up to our lives, which
I
is
love
really,
that.
really
Love that.
lovely. Yeah. So we're here because we wanted to chat about Victoria Beckham and the doco that was on Netflix. A lot of people actually had to reinvigorate their Netflix subscription because they, for obvious reasons, they dumped it. But I did for a month, and I'm really glad I did. What about you, Taz? I really loved it.
I loved it. I thought it was brilliant. I binge watched it all actually, and it I've always liked Victoria Beckham. I've always liked David Beckham. I like them as a couple, but now well, I suppose over the course of the last 5 years, I've really warmed to them. But I love Victoria now. She just came across she showed so much humility, the way she admitted her faults, the way she laughed at herself, the way she poked fun at herself. But to even admit her faults, it was something that I wasn't expecting to come from the show. She really did open up. You can tell none of it was fake or contrived. And David trying to have his little moments making his gummy bear jokes was adorable.
Yeah, and that's why it was so real, because he was adorable but a little bit out of his depth, particularly in sort of the fashion
Yeah,
scenes. You could just
yeah,
tell he just felt so awkward, and it
yeah.
just added to the whole vibe. But I gotta say, I walked away feeling a lot of respect for her. I
Oh,
just,
massively.
I could not have gone through the fire she went through. Basically, for people that haven't seen it, it's about the lead up to her appearing at Paris Fashion Week for the very
Mm,
first time. And not only appearing at Paris Fashion Week, like, let's face it, headlining. Like, it was a
yeah,
major
amazing.
show. And it took her
Yeah.
15 years to get there. Were you amazed the depth of her journey, the fact that she started off on the cutting room floor, like she started off with
Yeah,
Roland Murray as
yeah.
basically just an underling in the sewing room, and
He
she
was
did
the
that for over a year.
he was the only one that would take her seriously. I got really upset. I don't want to give too much away because I can't encourage people to watch the show enough, but she was trying to be taken seriously, and she went through this dip, which I love, where she had this huge unimaginable amount of fame for being a Spice Girl, and then she kind of lost herself when they broke up, and she became a mum, and she just became a wag, David's wife, and she lost herself, and she knew she wanted to get into fashion. And you're watching the show, and when she gets to have that moment with Tom Ford, and they took the piss out of her. They made her a joke. She thought that someone was finally giving her a chance, and they kind of ridiculed her, and I found that really upsetting. But the fact that she came back, and Roland was the only one that said, I'm going to give you a chance because I think you've got something, you genuinely seem passionate, but you are no longer Victoria Beckham in here. You are not a Spice Girl. You are not David Beckham's wife. You are not the Queen of Wags. You start at the very bottom. You clean up the clippings off the floor. And I thought that was brilliant. And it's obviously what she needed herself. It was, yeah.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
Roland now as well. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. He was a lovely man. And also, when she had that first collection in New York, where she was basically, I think, about 12 dresses, and she
yeah,
got all the very snobby sort of fashion
I
journalists to,
remember.
did she begged them basically to come and see
Mm,
her in this hotel room. And she spoke to them all day about these 12 designs that she did. And they were really impressed But then when the tabloids got hold of it, they made out that Roland Murray actually did the designs, and he
Yeah,
didn't. And then
yeah,
he
yeah,
made it very clear that I didn't. It was all her. The whole thing
yeah.
was her. But they just took away her whole achievement, and it was a very
Yeah.
hard won achievement, and they just were out to destroy her, weren't they, really?
I was quite surprised to see so much sexism in the fashion world. And it seems to be that the gays are definitely elevated. If you're a gay man, you are the mwah. And it makes me think, I'd imagine that Donatella Versace probably went through something very similar herself. Her appearance was quite fun as well. But I mean, yes, they were really, really savage to her. But the whole media campaign that they did towards her really shocked me. The thing is, because I grew up with it, I remember it, but to see it now by today's standards, to see it all compacted again, when they picked on her about her weight, when they showed a bit of the article and they said, oh, no wonder she's looking glum, she's still packing the pounds 11 days after giving birth. 11 days 11 days. You know, the
Mm,
fact that Chris Evans weighed her live on TV.
I
It's things that
know.
horrify me now. No wonder eating disorders and things and body dysmorphia, our generation of when it went from just being magazines to being obsessed with celebrities on TV, the way they treated them. But she went through the fire with the media. And I hate to bring her up so early in the video, but Meghan, when I think about all of her complaints, she didn't suffer a tiny shred of what the media did to Victoria Beckham, let alone Catherine. I mean, she
Yes.
really was horrifically bullied. And there was bits when I got really emotional because you just think, God, being on that world stage, thinking that she had everything, you know, the footballer husband, the handsome husband, everything. And she was being torn to shreds over the most horrific things. Yeah,
Yeah. And
awful.
I was amazed too, because I think in the back of my mind, I was always thinking that it was an advantage being married to David Beckham. And really, for what she wanted to get into for the fashion world, it just wasn't an advantage at all.
No.
She had to dump the wag thing and
Yeah.
start from the very bottom. I've got a few sides to show, so we can sort of chat as we go through. So this was, on the day that it was launched, and the
Yes.
Princess of Wales subtle nod, and I've got a photograph of Catherine. Wasn't that an amazing outfit? And wasn't that
Yeah.
just, I don't know if it was luck, but that orange door as a backdrop, it just
Yeah.
made
I
the
mean,
whole
it's
thing go, whoa,
hot.
didn't it? Yeah.
I've seen that suit on Catherine before and it was wonderful. And I definitely think she deliberately wore it that day. She's very similar to Queen Elizabeth always used to wear particular fashions or pieces of jewelry, send sort of
Yeah.
subtle messages of support to various people. And I thought it was
Yeah.
wonderful that she did that. But yes, I mean, it's Catherine. She'd look good in a bin bag, but a Victoria Beckham suit, mwah, divine,
She
divine.
it's almost like Victoria Beckham designs for her though, because well, they're
Yeah.
both very tall and they're both very, very slim.
Very,
And
very
so
slim. Yeah.
her designs, you know what I would love to see Catherine in? You know that white dress that she wore to Highgrove for the Italian dinner with Stanley
Oh,
Tucci. Can you
yes.
imagine Catherine in that?
Yes, yes, that one. And I've just finished this morning. I finished the final episode where she had Gigi Hadid walk the runway
Yes.
and she wore that green
Yes.
silk dress. And I love the fact
Yes.
they almost had heavenly music as Gigi walked down because she is one of the few women out there that are not. She obviously comes from a lot of money, but I think she genuinely does have supermodel to her. She does have a very
Yeah.
angelic face. She has something different about her. But the way she just glided down in that green dress, she did look incredible. But that green dress, again, stunning, very similar in sort of style and the drop and the fits and the material to what
Yes.
Vicky wore or Lady Beckham now. Lady Beckham wore. Yes.
Yeah, amazing, amazing. Actually, I was
Mm.
really impressed because I heard an interview with Victoria Beckham, and she said they were talking about the titles, and she said, "Oh no, you never use them when you're working. That's just not done."
Yeah,
And I thought,
someone might
oh,
want to
God,
send a
good
memo.
on you. You're just so wonderful. I'm such a fan now. So this is the family, and, they all look lovely. But the next shot is rather telling. Oh, no, it's after this one. But this is the critics, and this is just a sample of, The Guardian.
Oh,
Just sticking the boot in, meticulously constructed, but extremely boring. I'm thinking, what were you
I loved it.
watching?
Yeah, exactly. They're obviously not going to write anything that positive, I don't know. It's The Guardian. I'm not their biggest fans.
There was others too. There was I'd say I read about 6 or 7 bad reviews, and I'm reading them
Oh,
all.
really?
And I actually messaged
I'm
Taz and I
surprised.
said, "Am I losing it? Like, I love this. I thought this was really fantastic. Let me know what you
Yeah.
think," because I just thought that I had like I'd lost all my taste or
Yeah.
something with all the damning
That's
reviews. It was just
strange. I guess they
yeah,
want the dirt, don't they? They want like, oh, when, David was accused of having an affair, they want the gossip to do with her fallout with her son. It's just that tabloidy, that thirst for something negative.
yeah.
And I thought the show was really positive. It was really, really lovely to watch. I enjoyed that so much.
Yeah,
But yeah.
so did I. We got a tip, Taz.
In a nutshell, thank you very
Thank you
much.
in a nutshell. We'll have to have a
I
Christmas
have to
drink.
keep looking around because my camera's in front of the computer screen. So if people watch me do that, it's so I can see things.
I'm the same. I'm sort of looking
Yes,
around
she is.
microphones and things. I've got a different setup and it's just really confusing me. So bear with, bear with. Um,
There's the
Gigi
dress.
Hadid.
That's the dress. I want that dress.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
yeah.
look like that in that dress, but I mean,
And,
she will.
will we be giving too much weight to say why it was a bit fraught leading up to this show? Would we be giving it away too much?
Well, I don't think so. I mean, it was quite literally chucking it down. Everything that
Yes.
she built for an outdoor stage to have a big outdoor, beautiful candlelit runway, and it rained for about a week up to it. So everywhere at this
Yeah,
private old manor house, the gravel had turned to mud.
yeah.
Everything was slippery because it's all old stone. Yeah, it was. I was even biting my nails for her. I was like, oh no, no.
Same. Yeah, and what struck me about her? If I was in that situation, I don't think I would be necessarily my best self. And they did have a lot of fly on the wall cameras and everything, and often she was quite a way away, but she was mic'd up. Do you know she was always lovely? And when you
Yeah,
could tell that she was sort of feeling like she could cry or feeling overwhelmed or feeling like, she
yeah.
just went quiet and she
She,
just took sort of
yeah,
like a deep breath and then she carried on. I mean, the strength of this woman, she is just,
yeah.
nothing phases her. And one thing I noticed was just little moments under her breath that you could hardly, it wasn't a big deal, but she would treat her staff so well, and there'd always be a little thank you or a little goodbye or a little sort of very quietly.
Yeah.
She really treats her staff well.
She does just the staff, the models. She seems to have a relationship with a lot of them. And it was a genuine warm affection with them. You can tell she wasn't faking it for the cameras because you could tell how relaxed the models were with the way that they were talking to her, like she was a friend. And
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, she did show a lot of restraint, even though she must have been inside going absolutely nuts. But I think where she went through, everything she went through, from even at school with kids not really, she was a bit of a loner at school. And then with the Spice Girls, she found the fame, and then she had a lot of bullying. I think it's that thing that she's tough. She's had to
yeah,
toughen up. And the way that she deals with it, she even said in the show that I can't, losing my shit, basically, it's not good for anybody. It doesn't achieve anything. So by keeping herself calm, even though inside she was probably like crazy or crying or sobbing, the fact is that she's like, I need to stay calm because I need to keep everybody else calm. If she goes to pieces, other people go to pieces. And it does show a strength within her that I did have a lot of admiration for, definitely.
yeah. And when that model actually was supposed to be wearing a see-through transparent skirt and she bunged her knee up skateboarding just before the show, and
Yeah,
she could have really lost it because they spent ages trying to get that
yeah,
skirt right. Were you
yeah,
amazed how they get the 40 models in and then they fit every individual model? They basically resew
yeah.
it to fit the model. in the
Yeah.
lead up, in the week leading. I didn't know any of that about high fashion. I was just blown away by the whole process. I was
I
so impressed.
I grew up with the whole, what was it, America's Top Model, with Tara Banks. So I've seen a lot of
Oh,
the horror stories when it comes to that. And I mean, again, that show wouldn't be allowed to get away with what it did to a lot of those girls by today's standards at all. You look back now and I'm horrified, but it just seems so normal. But yeah, so I don't have an interest in fashion. As you can tell, I'm hardly a fashionista. But I mean, I do admire it from afar, but not enough to say that, oh, yeah, I know how it all works. So it was really, really interesting to see how much goes into getting a model, designing the clothes, from start to finish, just for one piece, just for that one model to walk down successfully on a high fashion runway, to have the correct people there, to have everything just work. It really is an incredibly tough industry, but
it
that's why
is.
you've got to be good. And that's why she has proved herself over and over and over. When other people would have bowed out, she has really gone through the rings of fire. And as I said, I've got a lot of more admiration for her, definitely.
Yeah. Oh, so have I. I thought it was really fun too. I've just got a few little things I wrote down. There's a few things like she got all the clothing budget for the Spice Girls because no one
Yeah.
else in the Spice Girls was
They
interested
didn't
in
care
fashion.
about wearing designer clothes. So she was like, oh, I'm going to shop at Gucci.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, I've
Yeah.
just got to say, I can't get up and tell my husband, but he's listening to us in the room next door and he's got it really up loud and it's coming and feeding back through my microphone. So I'm just saying now, hello, husband, can you please use headphones? Because it is feeding back through my microphone. Thank you. I'm such a bitch. I'm such a bitch. The other thing I wanted to bring up, this is sort of the final thing, was about the brush bag. When she got out and she was showing her makeup and everything like that, for the Victoria Beckham makeup range. Have you tried any of that?
No, I haven't tried any of Victoria Beckham stuff, but I'm thinking, I might give it a whirl. I love the fact that Donatella Versace's like, do you like my makeup? It's Victoria Beckham. That shows how far she's come in the world. This is Donatella Versace. Like, yes, this is Victoria Beckham.
Yes.
I
Yeah,
loved,
that was
again,
a
this was
great
another
one.
shift that I wasn't aware of. And this was all to do with Victoria, when Victoria Beckham's clothing line was going under and they thought they were going to lose it, they were spending way too much money. And then she was losing her original client base because she was losing herself. It was no longer Victoria Beckham. It was just another label and everything looked like it was going to crash and burn. And she bought it back by opening up herself, by showing herself, putting on her makeup, by, showing this inside real Victoria out of the shower, plonking down, even saying, the video's like, I'm sorry, this is a terrible video. I've not really done many of these before. And it was just so open and raw. And I loved
Yes.
it. And I'm
Yeah.
already beginning to see someone that's taking notes and starting to copy that. But I'm sure we'll talk about that in a bit.
We're going to talk about it right now. Here we are.
Oh, psycho stalker. Can you believe this?
Unbelievable.
Now,
Uh,
we were beginning to see it in New York because there were lots of photos. I really did clock it in Paris, as did a lot of people, where Meghan, who normally has the big megawatt smile, the big Hollywood grin, she compares herself to Julia Roberts. She had a very demure, almost a Mona Lisa smile to her, the way that she had her hands in her pockets and things. And I thought, and we've seen this in New York recently, I thought, no, she's trying to be like Victoria Beckham. This is what she's going to do. And then for her to turn up on this latest, the slide you had before in that white outfit, that was Victoria Beckham's outfit for the opening for her Netflix premiere. And then Meghan wears, come on, it's near enough identical. She's got, the pencil skirt with the split up the front, the white shirt. She is definitely copying Victoria, because I think, like she tried to copy Diana, she wants what they've got. She just wants it given to her. And she thinks, well, if I emulate these people, I'm going to be able to take some of that stardust. And it's
yeah.
just, it's not going to work. It's not going to
No,
work.
it's not going to work. And I'm really starting to think, I don't think it's sort of hyperbole to say that it's getting to the stage. We've called her a bunny baller before in previous lives. But it
Single
is
white
getting
female.
quite stalkerish.
It's
Yeah,
well, in
yeah.
this case, I don't want to get in trouble. It's single biracial female, but she is definitely taking on a new persona. Meghan reinvents herself. I don't think As Ever has gone the way that she's wanted. She seems bored of it. I said this in my video I did last night. You're not seeing her advertise it as much. She's no longer, asking celebrities to get involved to endorse the products. I mean, even her new Sauvignon Blanc, she didn't even do a big promotion for it. It was quietly launched. Meghan's bored of it. She didn't get what she wanted. Netflix aren't really supporting it, obviously, because With Love, Meghan has tanked. So she's bored now. And I guarantee you, even though she's now calling herself on this Women of Fortune speech or whatever it was, she's now apparently a high-profile business founder. You've barely had it going for a year. It's been a complete and utter disaster. But here she is now. She's a high-profile business founder that everybody knows her for her fashion and for her beauty. On what planet? Bad fashion, fashion victim? Oh, yeah, definitely. But come on.
You're right. And I couldn't believe it when I watched a little clip of it, and it was just so cringeworthy and so embarrassing.
Yeah.
And really, it's like satire, because you've got her sitting up there as this, woman of power conference for Fortune 500 companies, I would presume. And, it's this dinky little brand that sold some samples if she's lucky. And everyone knows it's a flop. Everyone knows it hasn't got any numbers or any sales.
I doubt it's even got a year left to it, to be honest with you. She won't even release the figures. She had an interview, I can't remember, was it Forbes? It was a big magazine. They gave her an interview and it said, no, it wasn't Forbes. It was to do with Emily Chang, where she did that documentary interview recently.
Yes.
And they had to put in the interview that Meghan had refused to hand over sales figures for As Ever. Why would she do that if it's such a success, if she's such an amazing founder? It's because it's tanking behind the scenes.
Oh, it was so funny in that interview. She's sitting there and she said, oh, well, I love to entertain and I love to cook for people. And then just one day I thought, well, could this be a business? And I yelled into my phone, no, Meghan.
Yeah.
It's not a business.
For me, but I've only watched a few clips on it on Twitter. I am going to make myself watch it because there's apparently a few things in there that I definitely
have
want.
A stiff drink.
Yeah, I will do. I'll drink another bottle of that Baileys. But it's the way that she's talking about, I'm all for empowering women and women's legacies. And it was the legacy that triggered me. Queen Elizabeth II had a legacy that you tried to torch to the ground. The Commonwealth, they dubbed her speech that she gave when she was 21, when she became queen. They dubbed it and called the Commonwealth, her, what was it? The Empire 2.0. They lied about everything to try and burn down the monarchy. That was Queen Elizabeth's legacy, let alone empowering women. How many women have come forward to say that Meghan Markle has screamed at them, shouted at them, put them in therapy? You've got staff across multiple countries. She was horrible to staff in Africa, in Australia, at Admiralty House. Not just her own staff, other people's staff, the Spotify staff, they were the ones that ended up in therapy. It's absolutely insane, the number of people that she has treated like she's a monster to people. And she's getting humanitarian awards. Now she's being honored for being a real girl's girl. There is nothing girl's girl about her. She tramples on other women. Yeah. Unbelievable. It's like it's satire. Sorry. It must be satire.
Sorry to jump in, but what mystifies me about all this? It's about the fact that all the media knows about the Hollywood Reporter, Vanity Fair, Valentine Lowe, all those reports on her bullying. They all know about it. Yet they report seriously on her turning up at this business conference, or they report seriously on her achievements, and they never bring it up again. And I'm thinking, if it was anybody else, that would actually be brought up every time she was in the news. They would not let that go. They wouldn't let it go for Victoria Beckham.
Look at Naomi Campbell, she was so angry, she launched a mobile phone at someone's head years ago. They didn't
Yeah.
let that slide for a very, very long time. She was known as fashion's mean girl for
Yeah.
years. She was so big, but people, every time they brought it up, she was known for being this really angry person and people were scared to work with her. They brought it up every single time. But Meghan,
Mm.
they just seem to plaster on over it. I mean, Vanity Fair in the fashion world, I mean, it's pretty big. The Hollywood Reporter, Hollywood works with the Hollywood Reporter, you know,
Yeah,
and they have
yes.
called her out for being this horrific bully. And yet people, they still, it's beyond the pale.
Mm.
It's like watching South Park, but in reality. It really
Yeah.
is. It's
Yeah.
bizarre. It's bizarre that people still back her and try and act like that she's this wonderful person when you've got more people than I can count on my fingers that have come forward and said that she is a really, really nasty human being. You
I
can see
wanted to
it.
ask you, I agree with all of that, very well expressed. I wanted to ask you about Harry because I haven't bought into the whole thing again that they're having arguments and that he's disgusted with her and this
He's in on it.
because we've been through that, Taz, for over 5 years
He's
now
in
and
on
we
it.
get it every summer or
Yeah,
just after summer. And
because
it's
it
like
gets
clockwork. It's just the same narrative they're rolling out every time. So this time I saw it and I'm like, no, I'm
people
not going
refuse to
down that
believe
road.
that people refuse to believe that he's as nasty as her. And in some ways, I think he met his match made in heaven. Yes, I do believe there are parts of him that are unhappy, but not enough for him to realize that, oh, maybe she shouldn't be treating people the way that she does. Maybe I shouldn't be treating people the way that I do. He's
Mm.
as nasty and vindictive as her deep down. And I think Meghan, many people are so quick to blame Meghan for everything. And I was initially in the beginning, but she brought what was ever there to the surface. The point is, it was already there, simmering away, and she just nurtured the right seeds. She
Yes,
told
I
him it was
agree.
okay.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Now,
They're
have a
both
look at this.
responsible.
What is the point of this?
I've been really mean about this.
The bunions.
No, no. I turned around and said, everybody's looking. Basically, it's a big collection of shoes. No, it's not a collection of lots of shoes. It's a collection of big shoes. She has got gigantic feet. Look at the size of them. I said that they look like they belong in RuPaul's dressing room. They're
Yes.
massive. I've got big feet. I'm not foot shaming her. I've got size 7, UK
Yes,
7.
you
I've got
are.
big feet. Right. But okay, but I can admit I got big feet. But she's only, let's be honest, she's what, 5'3". She can tell people she's 5'10" in stilettos. No, she's not. But she does have big feet. And I know why, Shauna. She has to have big feet to stop herself from toppling over because her head has become so big with her ego. It's a balancing thing. So that's
It's
why she's got
nature
gigantic
stepped
feet.
in.
Yeah. But this is very Marie Antoinette, let them eat
Yeah.
cake. She's collecting humanitarian awards and then she's, look how rich I am. You know,
Yeah.
Imelda Markos was another one that sprung to mind. She was another
Yeah.
person
Yeah.
that was spending charity money on things and then showing how wonderful her life is. But yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, when
giant
I
goat
saw
feet.
those, I just thought how boring.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
black
Oh,
and
look,
beige.
beige, brown, black. How exciting.
There's just there's nothing exciting. I wouldn't show my
Sweet.
shoes if they look like that. I mean, it's not exactly Carrie Bradshaw, is it? I mean, it's just
No, it's not. I mean,
it's
yeah,
boring.
they are.
Boring. Oh, that
Mm,
was the hand in the
let's
pocket
not do
thing
it.
you were referring to before, trying to
Victoria.
be Victoria Beckham. So
Yeah.
I was going to just do a little thing because I know Taz is going to do a video on the Prince and Princesses of Wales
Oh, their
visit to
double
Northern
engagement
Ireland.
yesterday.
Yeah, yeah. So we're not going to share too much, but I just wanted to show this the cider shot, and also I've got a little movie. I think probably everyone's already seen it, which was the potato and apple pie rolling out thing. But I just love them on joint engagements. They
Oh, they're
just
wonderful.
fly. They just feed off each other so well, don't
They
they?
do. You can tell that they're fun. You can tell that they probably have a lot of fun in their relationship. You can tell by the way that the children interact with their parents and the children play with each other. You can tell that their
Yeah.
household is full of so much love and laughter.
Yeah, they do. They do. It makes you feel good. Well, I've got the film now. I'm lousy at sharing these films. I've always got the sound down or something, but I think this should be right to go. So I put captions along the bottom, so if the sound's a bit low, you can hear them. Here we go.
Correct.
Yeah.
And you try to keep it into a circle.
Circle. Now you tell me. If you look at it this way, it looks like a circle.
A rectangle circle.
A rectangle circle. This is a new variety. You've not seen this one before. So how does that cross the circle?
Oh,
That's
look
one
at
like
that.
rectangle.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Yeah.
Isn't that gorgeous?
I
That was
I
just
love
so sweet.
I love both of them. You know, I just they're so funny, and Sophie's very similar as well when she's on engagements. And I just and the Princess Royal, Princess Anne, they're just generally just lovely, funny people that laugh at themselves. They don't take themselves too seriously. But Prince William, yeah, I love that. It's like, well, it's a circle depending on which angle you look at it from.
Yeah, it was gorgeous, and the whole thing. And did you see that? Have you had a chance to have a look at the film yet of them at the linen farm?
No, I had to. I was working late, and then I had to
you
binge
just
watch
love
Victoria
that.
Beckham.
I can't show these videos though that they put up because they always have music in the background. And the few times that I've tried to share them, I've been hit with a copyright strike because of the music in the
well,
background. So that one was
just mute.
perfect.
You can just mute it. I tend to use them because I want to show them, but it is the type of music. Sometimes the music's okay. Sometimes the music, it can hit you with a copyright. But yeah, I tend to mute the videos. But there are, yeah, they don't hit you with a copyright, or if you use the video, because I think they want people to share it. They want it to reach a wider audience.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that one was perfect because there was no music, so I was like, yes, yes, because you want to hear them talking as well.
Yeah,
I'm going to
you
have to
want
get
to
my
hear them
muso
after.
husband to extract the music and leave the voices back in. I'm going to have to
Maybe
get him to do
noise
that.
removal. Noise removal. There'll be something. Someone will know. I'm sure someone will tell us in the comments.
It would be
but-
possible. Let's have a look at some of our comments.
Yes, say hello to everybody.
Yeah, and say hello. Jacqueline Archer, I loved it too, and I was never ever a fan or particularly interested in her, but I felt it was time to catch up and then watch David's
got
documentary.
got
Do you know
booked.
what? I've got a confession. I haven't seen the other doco.
I've got a confession too. I've only watched bits of it. So, but now that I've watched that, I'm binge watching David Beckham next. My husband's not going to be too impressed because he's like, oh, David Beckham. But I love David Beckham. So yeah, no, I'm definitely going to watch that next.
Yeah. This is for Debbie. I binge watched too, loved it. That green silk dress was incredible.
Yes,
Oh,
Debbie. Yes, I'd love. Well, actually, Shauna, your top is actually the same colour.
yes, yes.
very nearly
I
wore
meant
green
to
today.
say to you, we're supposed to wear olive green because someone said that to me in my last live, and I forgot to say it to you. And
I did, yeah.
So I just quickly. So I'm wearing the same top I wore the other day. That's not very good.
I've
is
literally
it?
got this jumper in 4 colours. People will probably notice it, but I was near enough to wear my olive green one. I was like, oh no,
It
I
looks good on you. When you find something that looks good on you, I'm all for buying multiple versions
Yeah,
of
definitely.
it. Yeah, Catherine has the body of a model. Mimi thinks she has it. Hence, Catherine looks perfect, and Rachel looks like a little girl dressed with her mum's clothes. Yes, it's not right. It's never
Yeah.
right, is it?
Yeah,
No.
I mean, I don't want to be too catty, but when you had that slide earlier where it shows Meghan literally copying Victoria Beckham's Netflix launch outfit, Meghan doesn't dress to her shape. And sometimes, it can be quite obvious, if she'd had a more sort of tailored skirt to suit her body shape, but people call her SpongeBob because she's like a big square block, and it's not always flattering. Sometimes she looked amazing in that black suit, that Valentino suit. She did look
Yes.
lovely, although
Yeah.
I still thought you're picking up a humanitarian award for child online safety and you've basically naked to your navel. Surely, a little blouse underneath. she just never gets it right. There's always something, but she did look nice in that. But she never wears tailored clothes. Never.
Yeah. Yeah. My mum always texts me and says she doesn't realise how short she is.
She thinks in her mind she's a 5'10" supermodel. I mean, she's got the size feet for a 5'10" supermodel, but she just doesn't package everything else, bless her.
Yeah, yeah. Jane Knight, what you say horrifies me. I've always loved Miss Beckham's clothes. She has a really great eye for colour. What?
What?
We've complimented her for the last 34 minutes.
What?
Jane, what are you talking about?
Jane, sorry, Jane. I don't understand.
I think you must have come in. We've been complimenting her.
No, this is a Victoria Beckham loving show. What?
Yes, we have just constant.
Sorry,
think
Jane.
Jane's mixing us up with someone else, I think. Never mind. But just be rest assured, we love her too.
Yes.
We love her too.
I literally want some of her clothes. I'm not sure I fitted her clothes.
Nick Bull, Taz needs an olive green piece of clothing. It would look great with her colouring. It would.
I was almost going to wear it.
With your hair. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. You'd look great in green now, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I do. I'm going to go running, put it on.
J. Pearl Williams. No, Shawnee, you're not a bitch. It's called being a wife. I noticed he turned it off.
Well, he heard you. I've had to do it. I've had to do it when I'm on a live, and I have to stamp the floor because he's downstairs and he's got the TV on really loud, or he's playing with the dogs, and all I can hear is the growling and stuff. And I'm like,
yeah.
Shut up.
Yes, I know. We're not like Victoria Beckham at all. We're not all cool, calm and lovely, are we?
No. Show the emotion. Show the emotion.
Well, I always think that if you don't show your emotion, that you could actually die young because you'll keep it all repressed inside.
It's not good to repress.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
Not good to repress.
I
Or
wonder
you
if...
can send a psycho.
Yes, exactly.
Right,
exactly.
Giselle.
I wonder, do you want to read one, Taz?
Yeah, go on. I can just about see that. I wonder if Meghan has brainstorming sessions with her staff to offer ideas for her next stunt. I think there is a good chance that her staff actually say, Meghan, this isn't a good idea. And she goes, yes, it is. This is a great idea, because I refuse to believe that all these people around her let her do this stuff. I mean, people must really go, this isn't the best idea. I mean, can we just talk about, I didn't know if you were going to bring it up, but Meghan's, the Pierre Paolo, the new creative director for Balenciaga.
You keep talking, I've got it. Yep.
The statement that she put out with her spokesperson. Are you going to bring it up?
Yes.
No,
wrong one.
Wrong one.
Hang on.
But she put out the statement. If you're going to read it, I'll keep stum.
I haven't got the whole thing. I've just got this headline to remind me to say to you about it, because it was really amazing, wasn't it?
It truly was baffling. That all right, I've got it. I'll read it out to everybody. This is what Meghan's spokesperson put out about going to this show, because there's lots of stories going out that she was asked to go by Balenciaga. So it got revealed that she'd actually asked to go herself. So she wasn't like a big surprise for everybody. She wasn't coveted by him. She had basically texted him and said, I want to come, please, can I come? But she had got her press release, her spokesperson, to say, over the years, the Duchess has worn a number of designs by Pierre Paolo. They have worked closely together, collaborating on design for key moments on the world stage. She has long admired his craftsmanship and modern elegance, and tonight was no different. This evening reflects the culmination of many years of artistry and friendship, reflected in her support for the new creative chapter at Balenciaga. She basically said, I collaborated with him on all of this, the designs, everything. I'm part of this. What did she
What a nerve. What a nerve.
Call her out.
And I'm so glad that he came out, because the fact that it was untrue, and when he was in that insufferable interview, have you seen the video of it?
No.
And the person interviewing him is more or less giving Meghan the credit for him getting attention at the Paris Fashion Show. And you can just see him, he just very coolly corrected it and said, well, in actual fact,
There's
she
a live
texted
video
me.
to it. Oh yeah. I mean, God, shoot that down. I mean,
Oh,
this man has a hugely successful career. I mean, it was over 25 years at Valentino. He's dressed incredible people on the carpet. I mean, he is
yes.
an incredible designer. Some of his creations are wonderful. I mean, I'm not so hot about him going over to Balenciaga because of,
No.
the child campaign, but he is, but for Megan to try and steal credit for this, I mean, she's insane.
Well, she did that back in the TIG days when I, forced myself to read through everything she ever wrote on the
Of
TIG
course,
years
Meg.
ago. And she used to name drop because she would, happen to be in an event, or she wouldn't even be at an event. But she would shout out a famous person on the TIG,
Name dropping.
hoping to get some attention. Then she would go on Instagram and say, drawing attention to her blog post. And then
Yeah.
sometimes, like 1 out of 10 would give her a little nod back. And
Yeah.
next thing you know, they're best friends.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, she's always done that. But the thing
Yeah.
is, to say that you've collaborated for years together, and tonight is an example of all of your years of friendship and collaborations. What?
Right.
I mean,
I know.
that is nuts. That is honestly
Nuts.
nuts. It's
Yeah.
unhinged. It's
And
unhinged.
what is it with Ed Sheeran? I mean,
Well, he knows Harry through they're both supporters of the World Child. So he knows Harry from that. But there's lots of
So
reports coming out
disappointing.
that they didn't go out to dinner. That much like when Meghan and Harry got the paparazzi to go to the sushi bar and Cameron Diaz and Benji Madden were waiting outside, then they, there's a press release that they went to dinner together, which they clearly didn't. Cameron Diaz was quite clearly ignoring Meghan. And then she's done the same with this. She's done the same with this, I think. Lots of people were saying that Ed Sheeran was there having dinner with his wife, and then they made sure that they had photographs. But as far as
that
I
was
was
at
aware,
Soho House. New
yeah,
York,
I
was
think it is a Soho House, which is strange because
Yeah.
normally there's been a photograph released of the back of Ed Sheeran with Meghan. So someone took the picture, but you're not allowed to take photographs inside Soho House. It's with the same with a lot of these exclusive restaurants where
Yes.
celebrities go. That's part and parcel of it. And that photograph
Yeah.
seemingly hasn't been picked up by any of the newspapers, and it's really tough to find now. So it makes me wonder, if that got slapped down. But
Yeah, maybe.
she's still the
maybe.
same person, Shauna, that she was when she was that nobody that was going round to every event that she could get into, collecting her bag of freebies.
Yeah.
She's still that same person that's desperately trying to get invited to the big parties and bulldozing her way around. But that statement, honestly, to just, it's insane to think that
It is. And I think the way she's going to get into fashion, this is the last thing I'll say, but I think she's just going to white label some mass market.
She'll do exactly the same. Like, funny enough, it came up in the Victoria Beckham documentary, didn't it? About That's why lots of people didn't take her seriously, because lots of celebrities bring out a fashion line, and you know that it's been designed by someone else, it's been created, every bit's been done, but they just put their name to it. And that's exactly what Meghan will do, while she's also going to be cosplaying Victoria Beckham. All of the outfits of late, she's got her dressing up box out. And did you ever have stars in your eyes over in Oz? Did you have stars in your eyes?
No.
Where you'd see these people would be introduced on stage, and they just look like Bob the Builder or Sharon the hairdressers or something, and they come on and you'd have to almost think, oh, who are they going to be? And they go behind this curtain, and then they come out and they're going to do a karaoke performance, but they're dressed as the superstar. Like a woman will go in, she'll come out looking like Cher, and it was really good fun, and I used to love that show. But it's like, that's Meghan to me. Every time she goes behind that curtain again because she's got bored, she reinvents herself, and it's, tonight, Matthew, I'm going to be Lady Beckham, because that, I think, is her next. That's her next one. She's trying to be a fashionista.
Well, look, we'll await her SpongeBob SquarePants fashion range coming out. Early
Now,
next year, probably.
before anybody thinks I'm being overly mean and harsh here, I do pick on myself as well. Before we actually started this live, I was telling Shauna about my armpit vagina that I also struggle with on a regular basis. Now, I like wearing tops like this because they keep me cool. But there's something here, which I know a lot of us ladies have. Shauna had never heard of this, and it's called armpit vagina. And it's where you get a fat fold of skin there. And, well, you know, it says what it is. You know, and it looks like that. So I'm trying to tuck it in, hide my armpit vagina. And now there you go. See, I'm not just body shaming anybody, but, you know, it's good to be honest about our little faults that we have.
I can't believe you said that. I was going to say it when we came on, and I thought, no, I won't. That's a step too far. Don't want to embarrass her. And she just comes out with it. Anyway.
I'll bring it out. No, I'm not ashamed.
You just make me laugh. You just make me laugh. You're a tonic, you are. Thanks, Taz. Thanks for joining me. And thank you to everybody that joined us as well. It's just so much fun. And I look forward to seeing you again soon.
Yes, very soon. You take care of yourself, darling. Bye-bye. And bye, everybody.
Okay.
Thanks for coming, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Bye.